The President of the European Commission says a rapid border intervention team is being prepared by Frontex for land and sea protection. And she says there'll be financial assistance for migration management generally for Greece.
I thank Greece for being our European Aspida in these times.
Translate Aspida as shield.
The trial is being conducted overseas due to a lack of new COVID-19 patients in China. Japan faces a similar dilemma. Clinical trials are typically carried out where the virus is widespread, so the vaccine can be observed in a real-life environment. Over a dozen experimental vaccines are being trialled around the world, but none have successfully completed a phase 3 test to determine if it can shield people from the virus.
If we're only thinking about natural immunity as our only shield, we are unprotected.
It was very important to have that extra layer of protection, a shield, big or small, that keeps me safe.
La vacuna sigue siendo un importante escudo protector.
In other local news, all 7 integrated shield plan insurers are extending coverage to COVID-19 vaccination complications that result in hospitalization.
COVID shield has opened
cells
up
in your blood, you're protected against infections.
The vaccine generated strong protection against COVID-19 in a large late-stage trial.
Those patients were protected.
But it's not clear if these vaccines will actually protect people.
She says it's needed to stop the spread of COVID-19.
The immune system, one of the most complex parts of the human body. An intricate network of cells and molecules evolved over the course of hundreds of thousands of years to protect us from the dangers of the outside environment.
E quindi la questione dell'immunità, della protezione, se vogliamo usare un'altra parola più generale, è diventata centrale per tutte le nostre società. C'è stato forse un momento in cui questa paura dell'infezione, della contaminazione, si era un po' attenuata. A essere immunizzate può essere un individuo, ma può essere anche una comunità. Che significa una comunità immunizzata? Appunto, chiusa da una barriera e protetta da potenziali attacchi che vengono dall'esterno.
How long can a virus keep attacking me, especially when I've been previously infected? How long do my antibodies survive in my blood? How long does a vaccine defend my immune system against an intruder?
You may not know it, but your body is engaged in a never-ending battle. You are literally covered in staph and strep and E. coli and all sorts of dubious characters that are intent on using you and your body's many resources to feed themselves, find shelter, and reproduce as much as they want. And hey, we all gotta make a living, but it is not your job to give these guys a free lunch. So your body has developed a 3-part policy toward these shady customers, and its enforcement is handled by your immune system.
People from mostly Middle Eastern and African descent have migrated to Europe, most of whom were young Muslim men, and apparently they're here to stay. And we are feeling the effects of it every day. Social cohesion deteriorated, our sense of home deteriorated, and our safety deteriorated.
Ça ne peut fonctionner que si les frontières extérieures de l'Union européenne sont contrôlées. Mais si ce contrôle n'est pas correctement assuré, tout le monde est perdant. Et donc, il faut aider les pays à assurer correctement le contrôle des frontières extérieures.
Γεωπολιτικά το ρόλο αυτό να βρίσκεται στα σύνορα μεταξύ Ευρώπης και Ασίας και Ανατολής, ας το πούμε έτσι. Κατά αυτό αναγκαστικά θα πρέπει να είναι αυτός ο ρόλος της. Δεν μπορεί να είναι διαφορετικά. Οφείλουμε να προασπίσουμε τα ευρωπαϊκά σύνορα.
This makes your body an ecosystem, rich in resources and warmth and space. A perfect place to move into and have a family. While some of these guests are welcome, most are not. Your immune system is the guardian of this planet, the force tasked with protecting yourself against the constant danger of invasion.
The gardeners has to go to the jungle. The Europeans has to be much more engaged with the rest of the world. Otherwise, the rest of the world will invade us.
Monitoring typically starts in the gowning area to assure personnel are not bringing outside contaminants into the aseptic environment.
Thousands have tried to swim or climb their way into Spanish territory from the northern tip of Morocco since Monday. Many who are reaching the beach are unaccompanied children. Spain is taking a hard line by tightening its border and expelling many of those who make it through.
Fortunately, certain cells in your body have evolved to fend off microscopic attackers. Early responders, like this macrophage, identify invaders and attack.
I think that now it's a bit better. Things are more organized than before, but we have to do more things to help the locals and the migrants too.
That's why we are here for, actually, to help you with everything.
E quindi, se torniamo allora al punto di partenza, no? Il significato della comunità, vediamo che oggi la comunità sia andata progressivamente immunizzando. Tutte le comunità, o quasi tutte, si sono andate progressivamente immunizzando, e cioè rovesciandosi nel loro opposto. Abbiamo detto communitas è il contrario logico dell'immunitas, mentre nella communitas prevale il cum, cioè lo stare insieme, e nell'immunitas prevale l'elemento individuale di rifiuto della condivisione, e di difesa e anche di attacco verso gli altri. Ebbene, oggi la mia impressione è che per tutta una serie di motivi che qui non abbiamo il tempo di ricordare, siamo di fronte a una crescita abnorme di quello che appunto potremmo chiamare un grande dispositivo immunitario, un grande meccanismo di protezione, di autoprotezione.
Dernière question sur l'Europe encore très concrète. Est-ce que vous remettez des contrôles permanents aux frontières en France ?
Écoutez, cette question des contrôles permanents au sein de l'Union européenne, elle est intéressante parce qu'elle peut se faire autrement que par une frontière physique. Vous savez qu'aujourd'hui, avec tous les moyens qui existent, il est possible de contrôler avec des drones, avec du contrôle en ligne, etc., un certain nombre de choses. Donc, ce n'est pas forcément des frontières physiques telles qu'on les imagine.
V-Frontier is an autonomous intrusion prevention complex. It serves for real-time detection of intruders, smugglers, illegal migrants, and traffickers, enabling immediate reaction. It can be quickly deployed on any unprepared area for various operations.
Technology can help border surveillance to detect any illegal activity at the border. One technology with the potential to help maritime surveillance is unmanned aircraft. Pilots must take breaks. An unmanned or remotely piloted aircraft can stay airborne for over 24 hours.
The border security system was approved by the Greek government following last year's border crisis. Back then, Turkey sent thousands of migrants and refugees to the Greek border to build political pressure on the EU. Since 2015, the EU has invested €3 billion into border security research. The Thessaloniki-based RoBorder program is one such project. Researchers have developed a system for drones to operate autonomously in swarms. Here, they patrol a designated area.
A team of Austrian and Greek police uses thermal cameras to detect migrants trying to cross illegally into Europe.
Here we make the border surveillance on the Turkish-Greek green border. Now we are looking from this place to the Greek-Turkey borderline. It's about 7 to 8 kilometers.
Of a technology used by the community, by the masses, by the population, for example, in using it as an entertainment technology, then that will definitely accelerate the speed of the development of the specific technology, but also will reduce the price of the technology. So it will be easier to implement in other communities, for example, in the law enforcement community.
What is the planned date of your leaving the Schengen area?
This is who or what may greet you when you travel across Europe in the future. An avatar asking questions a human border guard might ask. One major difference: scientists say its software can tell if a traveler is lying or not.
This general laboratory is unique, as it allows up to 12 scientists to work at any one time within the specialised space on research of national importance at the highest level of biosecurity.
It's much more robust than other laboratories, and it has to be because of what we're dealing with, the pathogens we're dealing with. So we have a very robust system, not only of technology, but personnel. One of the systems we have in place is a biometric system. It's an iris scanner system.
This is indeed a very historic moment. As you said, Antonio, we are fighting this pandemic and the severe health crisis with the vaccines. The vaccines are our ally and hope. But we should never forget the second enormous crisis we have. This is the economic crisis. And there, our ally and our hope is Next Generation EU. 750 billion. 750 billion to support our citizens to keep their jobs, to support companies to stay in business, and to support communities to maintain their social fabric.
Die EU-Kommission lässt die Überwachungstechnik für ihr neues Internierungslager mit Geld bezahlen, das eigentlich dafür gedacht war, die Wirtschaft nach der Pandemie wieder anzukurbeln.
This €43 million centre was entirely funded by the EU and has a unique monitoring system with cameras linked directly to Athens.
This is the drone with sound and camera. It provides us with footage, but the ground patrols can also access them. And these are the augmented reality glasses which receive our instructions while on the ground. The camera systems recognize what is suspicious. They recognize knives, arms, and see what is happening. Then they sound the red alarm if it is very serious, or amber if it's less serious. Then we send instructions accordingly.
What if you could look at a map and know where the next COVID-19 outbreak would be and how soon it would happen?
Today we're going to talk about how a company used machine learning to anticipate the Wuhan outbreak way before it became a massive public health concern.
This little meeting is about predicting the future.
Talking about predicting the future, and that really is the goal, right?
You can predict the future.
You saw all the things that we can predict now.
Second is prediction, right? How can you... Prediction.
This is an age of prediction. People are trying to predict everything that you do.
ITCLOS is a 3 years EU-funded project composed of 14 different research institutions and NGOs all around Europe. It will predict migration flows arriving into the European Union. It will create new methods for managing those migration flows, and it will mitigate risks of tensions between migrants and EU citizens. We will also develop and implement the so-called EU Migra tool, an IT tool that will help predict migration flows and allocate resources accordingly. Besides the EU Migra tool, we will provide knowledge.
We have both to facilitate cross-border mobility of legal bona fide travelers while making sure that security is always at the top level.
The adaptive immune system provides a more targeted defense. Dendritic cells are like intelligence specialists. They collect pieces of the invader at the site of the battle. Then they travel to the nearest lymph node, triggering a cascade of events. Inside the lymph node, the dendritic cell presents pieces of the invader to T cells, the immune system's communication specialist. In turn, T cells activate B cells, training them to form antibodies, the molecular weapons that target the invader specifically. The immune system now mounts its ultimate defense. B cells release millions of antibodies, each antibody's shape tailored to identify and neutralize the enemy.
Ma sul piano sociale l'immunità significa la tendenza alla chiusura e al rifiuto addirittura del confronto nei confronti di chi è esterno. Questa logica, questa sindrome immunitaria è diventata sempre più forte, costante, crescente, ha invaso tutte le sfere, la tecnologia, la medicina, la biologia, la società, la politica, e in questa situazione la comunità, lo spazio del comune si è andato sempre più restringendo. L'immune prevale sul comune e dunque, in definitiva, che dobbiamo fare? Da un lato moderare, se non eliminare, i dispositivi immunitari, i dispositivi protettivi che un po' ci soffocano, quelli che ci soffocano. Dall'altro dovremmo tutti quanti fare una battaglia di rivendicazione per allargare lo spazio dei beni comuni. Solo in questo modo quel punto interrogativo del titolo di questa relazione può venir meno e dunque la comunità, almeno in qualche modo, può ritornare da noi. Grazie.